Near the west gate of Moria stands a small elven village. The elves heard of the demise of King Durin at the hands of fire and shadow. Now, they keep a watchful eye over the path from the kingdom of Moria. The goblins were satisfied with their spoils of war, but as time went on, their greed grew, and they started to explore the surrounding lands. King Durbers now leads a raid to capture and pillage a nearby elven village. Fortunately, it is garrisoned by Erestor and Elrond's mightiest warrior, Glorfindel. Alongside the remaining warriors in the village, will they be able to repel Durbers' might, or will the village fall into the cruel rule of the goblins? Find out in this video.
I'm Jacob Lucas and you're watching Conquest Creations. Middle-earth strategy battle game is a fantastic game, but when your city's on lockdown, it has one major downside. You need someone else to play with. Now this leaves me just one option. I have to play with myself. Wait, no, not like that!
In this video, we have Elf Jacob Lucas commanding a small and elite army of Rivendell led by Glorfindel. In Glorfindel's warband there is an elf with a banner, as well as 10 elf warriors. Some of them have shields. He is accompanied by Erestor, leading some elves with bows, and a handful of them have spears. And finally, Arwen. The goblin army is the toughest warriors that Durbers could muster. He is leading a bat swarm, cave troll, some prowlers, black shields, and just regular goblins. Along with him is a shaman and a captain, both leading more goblins. And finally, Groblog, Durbers' rival, who would gladly see his commander fall in battle, for he might succeed him. Groblog is also leading prowlers and regular goblins. Each army is 500 points. The scenario is capture and control. Each building has an objective in it, so the elves and goblins will need to fight to control the buildings in the village. This is the table that we're going to be playing on today, the elven village that is under siege by the goblins. Now, the goblins' objective is to capture and control the village, which means the scenario is, well, capture and control. We have one objective marker in each of these buildings. One on the railing, one on the balcony there, inside the barracks, and finally, inside the last building. Let's meet our two players and get straight into this battle report.
I am Elf Jacob and I'm going to tell you one thing. I am going to win this game. My opponent kind of shit at the game, let's be honest here. Yeah, hey guys, I'm Goblin Jacob. Today I'm going to win this game. No doubt about it. Now, we're playing capture and control. There's some, it's pretty good for me on this table. There's a lot of choke points, and my high five for my elves means that I should be able to hold these buildings pretty well. The main thing I'm worried about is that bat swarm. Because that bat swarm can just fly to the top of the buildings and tag these objectives for capture and control. My objective is to kill it first. Just easy win. Elves, pretty shit, to be honest, not gonna lie. Yeah, these goblin guys, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I got the bat swarm. It's gonna win this game. It's gonna fly around, capture objectives, and yeah, look, this elf city, it's gonna be mine. One of the best things about playing against myself is that the trash talk can be absolutely brutal. The paint job on your army reminds me of an old folks home. Why are your models painted like rejected Power Rangers? Oh, sorry, just 1 second, my phone's ringing. Hi? Yeah? Yeah, I'll let him know. I'll let him know, don't worry. Yeah, thanks for the call. I'll tell him. Your mom called. She says you're too old to be playing with toys. Subscribing to your YouTube channel was a worse idea than dropping out of uni to start a wargaming business. Well, your web store has only made 3 sales so far. Well, it's your website too. Shit, yeah, people please buy stuff. Yeah, buy stuff, please, people. But seriously, the Conquest Creations web store has just launched and everything is currently on sale. If you want to support the content that you see here on the channel, as well as getting yourself some really high quality miniatures and bases, then the web store is the place for you. I'm putting my heart and soul into this channel and your support would mean a lot to me. In every single package I add a little bit extra as well as a personal touch as a thank you for your support. So please head over to the Conquest Creation web store. Alright, shameless self-promotion out of the way, let's get back to the video.
Elves deploy first and Glorfindel just goes in the middle, making sure some of his warriors are up on the bridge. Next, we have a Shaman drop down, just a small warband drop. Eristor goes halfway in between so that some of the elves can run up towards their back objective. Then Groblog goes in a line, claiming the barrack objective. And Arwen just goes behind Glorfindel. The other goblin captain goes up on the bridge, and then Durbers with his big warband goes down, all to face off against Glorfindel and Arwen. They should be the best warband to take them on. This is an overview of the board after deployment. Now you will notice that no one's gone in the tower, that's because you are not allowed to deploy in the tower. We have the goblins facing off against the elves on the bridge, and the cave troll ready to smash down this line of elves. I'm excited for this game to get started, and let's get into it.
Well, I know you need it, so good luck. Sorry, I don't speak loser. Here's the first turn priority roll. 6.
The elves with their priority are moving first. The first thing is an elf just goes into the tower to climb up to that objective, and then the elves just tie up all the goblins, and Arwen comes in, calls Wrath of Bruinen.
I do not mind a cheeky Wrath of Bruinen. That cave troll's knocked down, and I know a certain elf lord who's good at killing cave trolls and might come in handy here.
With all the goblins knocked down, they take a strength 2 hit, and this takes out 2 prowlers, which hurts a lot. And then Arwen finishes by charging into the cave troll. Same with Glorfindel. Cave troll's in a lot of trouble. The banner just repositions, and on the other side, the elves just make a line, hoping to hold up the goblins. They also climb up the tower, getting closer to their objective. On the bridge, the goblin captain just charges forwards. There's only space for one model there. One goblin goes into the barracks to claim that objective, and then the goblins just charge forwards. They actually manage to trap Eristor by passing a few lucky courage tests, and the goblins in the backfield start to work up the tower. Also, the shaman casts Fury. The bat swarm jumps up onto the balcony to claim the objective, and the goblins that can stand up do just stand up, but they're not in range to charge Arwen to help protect the cave troll. Now, the 3 goblin archers do have a banner in the open, so they take 3 shots, and unfortunately, they don't manage to take him down, but they were pretty close.
Alright, it's the combat phase, and I'm going to call a heroic combat with Glorfindel. Durbers will counter with a heroic defense. Yeah, heroic defense. Durbers calling that heroic defense is kind of what I was expecting. It means that he's used a point of might, and in my heroic combat's gonna just get me more kills. Glorfindel's heroic combat first. Glorfindel rolls his 3 dice, scores a 6. He is fight 7, which is higher than the cave troll, meaning he is 1. Now, this normally wouldn't be too big of an issue, but the cave troll is knocked prone from the Wrath of Bruinen, so he is trapped. Glorfindel doubles his strikes, only doing 1 wound. He'll take the Lord of the West reroll, and he's done 2 wounds, and then Arwen will make her 2 strikes, and she's only strength 3, so needs to use a point of might. Either Glorfindel or Arwen will use it, and I think it's going to be Glorfindel using the point of might to kill the cave troll on turn 1. Honestly, just not concerned about the cave troll dying. Totally fine with that. Honestly, don't even care. Part of the plan. Now, Glorfindel has 2 options. Well, the first one was going for Durbers, which was a good idea, but Durbers called the heroic defense, so there's not really much point in going for him. The name of the game is just going to be to break the goblins. I think that's what he is just going to try to do.
In the rest of the fights, Durbers fails to kill his opponent, and the elves manage to take down 1 Moria Black Shield. Arwen fails to kill her opponent.
Glorfindel fighting 2. Glorfindel only on a 3, Lord of the West. Only on a 3. The banner is not in range, so the Glorfindel, Elrond's Mightiest Warrior, lost that fight and is unwounded. Here's an important fight. Goblin Captain fighting an elf. Now the elf is going to fight it, because to win that objective, he's going to have to kill the captain. The elf wins. Only scores a 3, so does not wound, but the captain is pushed back, meaning the elves will claim the objective.
On the other side, the elves kill 1 goblin, and in return, the goblins kill 1 elf. That's a good trade-off.
Aristor is trapped fighting 3 goblins. The goblins have won it on a 4. Is it worth Aristor using the point of might? I think the answer is no. Goblin strikes on Aristor, needing 6s to wound. Oh, Jesus. There's 2 wounds. Double strikes. Oh, there's 3 wounds. How much fate does Aristor have?
Aristor, I love you, bro. But you gotta pick it up, man. You gotta pick it up.
Turns out Aristor has 2 fate, so let's use it. Passes both. He's got 1 wound, no fate left. Getting Aristor. It's good. It's good. What can I tell? Mad skills. Mad skills. Those 4 goblins. Just knew it was gonna happen. It's up here.
And the turn 2 priority roll goes to the goblins.
So Arwen and the shaman have called heroic moves. The roll-off is on a 1, 2, 3, it goes to the goblins, on a 4, 5, 6 to the elves. And that's goblins all day long, baby. This is good. It means that all those goblins get to stand up. Of course, the shaman is supposed to move first. He's gonna kind of stay in the same spot thereabouts. Now, let's think about our priorities. We gotta stop Glorfindel. Let's stop Glorfindel. We got to. Let's do it. Let's go in there like that. Alright. Now, goblins can go after the banner. And that bat swarm is gonna jump down and help out. The goblin captain on the bridge is gonna once again charge forwards and try to clear those elves.
On this side, the goblins are just trying to break through this line and take down Aristor. He causes terror, so they have to pass a few courage tests, but Groblog gets in.
Finally, these goblins just running up the stairs. Gotta get to that objective. Honestly, elf movement doesn't have too much going on. Just elves working their way up the building. And this elf was protecting the doorway, preventing goblins from going up, but he's got more important jobs. He's gotta take on that bat swarm. This way, he can't join in a heroic combat. And the last thing is that this elf makes it to the top of the stairs, meaning next turn I can get that objective. So I've just got to keep all the goblins downstairs and somehow kill a bat swarm. It's the shooting phase, and I am going to take 3 shots from those goblin archers into the combat with the bat swarm, because if I can kill that elf, I get massive benefits from combating with my bat swarm. 2 hits. Does it hit me or the elf? 1 hits me, 1 hits the elf. The one that hits the bat swarm does a wound. The one that hits the elf does nothing. After movement, things are looking bleak for the elves. In the combat phase, Aristor and Groblog call heroic strikes to see who really is the best hero. Start of the combat phase, Groblog's crown goes off. This gives +1 fight to all goblins within 3 inches of Groblog on a 4-up, and that's good.
Durbos and his mates easily take down the banner bearer.
Oh, you had a banner? Sorry mate, it's gone!
Glorfindel and Arwen both kill single goblins. The elves that have shields use them just to win the fights, and the elf fails to wound the bat swarm. On the bridge, the captain loses the fight but remains unwounded.
My elves on the bridge are just doing their job. Just phenomenal warriors. Just beat back that captain. If my captain could kill those 2 elves on the bridge, that would be phenomenal. But, you know, these things take time.
Over on the other side, none of the elf warriors or goblins manage to kill each other.
Now it's time for Aristor versus Groblog. Groblog is base fight 3, Aristor is trapped, so he goes to fight 4. And Groblog's crown has gone off, so he goes to fight 5. So, Groblog's heroic strike takes him to 7, and Aristor's heroic strike takes him to 10. So Aristor has the higher fight. But can Aristor get the 6? Oh no. Aristor is on 2 2s. And Groblog will win the fight. So Aristor just has 1 wound left. Groblog is going to try to take the glory all for himself, and a 6 will do it. Now, if you're cheering for the elves, you might be a bit concerned that Aristor and our banner bearer died, but don't worry. It's all part of the plan. And it's a big priority roll. goes to the elves. We still got heaps of resources in here with the goblins. If you are enjoying this content, please leave a like on the video. It helps more people see it. Also, I have a common question of the day. Now that is, what is your favorite character in Middle-earth? Glorfindel is definitely high on my list, and that's why I chose to use him in this battle. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And they're gonna call a heroic move from Durbers. Now, Durbers needs to move first after that, so he's just gonna charge that elf there. The big question is, what is the Bat Swarm doing? Is it gonna protect this objective, or try to kill a hero? Now, Glorfindel, of course, causes terror, so I can't get him with the Bat Swarm's courage too, but we could take down Arwen. I'll have a think.
And the Bat Swarm has decided to play the objective and go and defend it from that elf. So it just flies up onto the balcony. On the bridge, the elves just push forwards, trying to get that captain away from the objective. Down below, the elves on the other side are just trying to form a line to stop those goblins from breaking through and prevent themselves from being trapped. The elves just run further up to get their objective in the tower, and the elf in the central tower charges in to fight that Bat Swarm. Now the Bat Swarm still has 3 wounds, so it's going to be a lot of work to bring it down, but whoever wins that fight gets that objective. The goblins also push up, getting closer to their objective, and finally, the goblins on the other side just push forwards.
Alright, in the shooting phase, we have 3 goblins who are going to fire into the combat with the elf versus the Bat Swarm. The Bat Swarm still has 3 wounds. If I can kill that elf, that objective is mine. I've got 2 hits. Now, in the way for the railing, it's only going to be a 3 up in the way. 1 gets through. Does it hit me, or does it hit the elf? It hits the elf. Come on, a 6 to finish it. No. It's the elf priority, so I'm going to do this fight first. The captain versus the elf. And the captain's finally won one. That's not good. And manages to kill the elf. There's only 1 elf standing between the captain and that objective now.
Groblog kills an elf, and the goblins kill 1 more elf in combat. On the other side, Durbers loses a combat to a shielding elf, and a trapped elf is slaughtered. Other elves shield just to stay alive, but Glorfindel managed to kill 2 black shields.
Now for the main event of this turn. The elf fighting the Bat Swarm. Let's see who can get it. This is actually really important to the outcome of this game. And the elf will win on a 5. Now the Bat Swarm is trapped in there, so the elf can double his strikes. And does 1 wound. The Bat Swarm just has 1 wound remaining. And priority. The goblins on a 3. And the elves on a 3. The goblins did not have it last turn, so it goes to them.
The goblins on this side just swarm over the remaining elves, and over on the other side, the goblins just tie up all of the enemies.
Super important, because the goblin managed to get that kill, he's able to run forward, meaning that the goblins will claim that objective next turn. And the elves will finally get their objective. And the goblins just keep working up. They'll get there next turn. In goblin shooting, we have 2 archers firing down into this combat here. They both hit, me or you. Hits the elf, needing a 6 to put him down. Oh, gets him. Next, this goblin here moved half, and he is going to go into the Bat Swarm combat. But he'll miss. Glorfindel has a singular point of might remaining. I'm going to use that to call a heroic combat. Here's the plan. Kill that goblin. Charge Durbers. Kill him. Let's do it. And here it is. Glorfindel versus a single goblin. Wow. Glorfindel on a highest of a 2, but still beats the goblin. And does he get the kill? Yes, he does. Glorfindel charges Durbers. Let's get some points for leader kill.
Arwen loses her fight but takes no damage. On the other side, the final 2 elves are butchered by the goblins.
Next, it's the big one. Glorfindel fighting Durbers. Let's see who is the better leader. Glorfindel is out of might, but he has the Lord of the West ability, so he's going to reroll 1 dice. And it is not enough. Durbers has won the fight, needing 6s to wound. Can he put some damage on Glorfindel? He can't, but that's a lot better than what he could have ever hoped for.
Oh yes, Durbers, come on. You don't even need to wound to be successful here. I was expecting you to go down.
We've got the captain fighting the one elf. The captain will win the fight, and
2 points of might, kill an elf on the bridge. I think I'm gonna have to call it, because that way there's no chance you're getting that objective.
we'll use 2 points of might to kill that elf. Now it's the fight of the ages, the elf versus the bat swarm. The winner gets the objective. And the elf wins the fight. Can he wound the bat swarm? Does 1 wound to the bat swarm. Very interesting.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The elves are broken. And honestly, that's just totally fine because everyone knows that... Oh, wait. You tell me you're broken? Ooh, bad luck, buddy! Middle Earth SBG is just about having fun and having some good sportsmanship, right? I mean, like, trash talk is just not cool. Come on.
And here's the priority roll. Both on 5s, the goblins had it last turn, so that means it's going to the elves. Glorfindel's courage test for being broken. Unsurprisingly, he's successful, and he's going to go straight on into Durbers. Arwen has 1 point of will left. She's going to use it on the Wrath of Bruinen. Durbers has 2 will to resist. He needs a 6 here, and it's not enough. All those goblins are knocked prone. This elven archer in here is just going to move 3 inches so that he has a shot down at the goblins. The hero elf is not in Glorfindel's standfast range, so he passes his courage test. Rock solid. Now these goblins really don't care much about the rest of the battle, so they're just going to leg it forwards. Now Groblog, remember, wants Durbers to die because they are rivals, so he's not going to try to help out. They're just going to go for this objective, which they won't be able to get before the game's over, but hey, that's alright. These goblins on the walkway don't have too much to do. The captain's just going to start legging it in case the game does keep going for quite a while, and those archers are going to keep firing up at our elf boy. Finally, after a long, hard trek, the goblins have finally reached their back objective. In the shooting phase, we have 3 goblins that are being fired at by the 2 elves over there. One of the elves has moved half, so the elf that moved half hits, the elf that did not move half misses, and at the goblin in the open, kills him. Interesting. So now these 2 goblins are going to fire into this combat here. 1 hit, in the way, gets through the in the way. The bat swarm or the elf hits the elf. In the combat phase, Glorfindel's taking no risks. He is fighting first against Durbers. Glorfindel strikes a 4, Durbers on a 5, and the goblin supporting him. Alright, so Glorfindel must re-roll 1 dice for Lord of the West. He needs a 5 up. Yes! He gets it! Alright. Glorfindel striking at Durbers. Durbers is trapped, so I'm going to roll this twice. Needs 5s. I'll re-roll 1 for Lord of the West. 1 wound. Alright. Let's get a few more. Oh! 2, 3, 4 wounds. Durbers is dead. Arwen will fight the shaman and a spearman who are both on the ground. Arwen will lose the fight and back up, and they will stand up. And the most important fight of the game will continue, the elf versus the bat swarm. Here it is. And the bat swarm has won the fight. The elf will be trapped, and here is the first strike. Not enough. Here is the second strike. And the elf is dead.
And with that, we're going to say the game is over. It ends on the roll of a 1 or 2, and I'm just going to auto say that it's a 1. Now I've lost. Now that's okay. That's okay, because I had fun. What did I say? What did I say? Got the win. And the conclusion of the game is 9 points to the goblins and 3 points to the elves for a convincing victory. That's all for this video. Please let me know in the comments what you would like to see in the future. And until next time, guys, have a good one.